But you would have liked it for, I guess, for Fnatic or for either
For Geek
one, right?
Fam.
Right, for
Yeah.
Geek Fam as well. Of course, like you have so much value there, but well, they don't pick it up. They go for the troll,
10
which
seconds remaining.
can't say I was really expecting that to come out. I suppose it does combo nicely
5
with the
seconds
Tusk
remaining.
Lich.
Hmm.
Can be quite devastating throughout that laning phase. Maybe up against the Monkey King, though, it could be a bit of
Radiant
a tougher
win back.
matchup, and even the Necrophos for that matter. Not to mention the Bane. You do have Nightmare Fiend's Grip. It's can be problematic for that troll.
I guess it makes the laning stage a little tough for Ice Ice Ice, especially if you've got this Tusk and Lich with you at the very start of the game. I mean, you're most likely going to be leveling up the Death Pulse to start the game. Otherwise, what are you really going to do to contest these last hits? I guess
10
DJ can use
seconds
the Fissure
remaining.
to particularly go for the range creep, but I think
5
that's a
seconds
really
remaining.
defensive play to be wanting to make. And right now they've got three slows essentially with this Troll's axes. The Lich is going to go for the Frost Blast and then tag team most likely with the Tusk.
No, fair enough. We'll see Fnatic. They do ban out the Mars as their final ban out, leaving themselves a 2 seconds worth of reserve time now. Geek Fam, one more for them. It is really just a matter of whether it's Moon or Savage that's playing the monkey and what you really need to ban out, but it is flexible.
Mm,
Could even be Ice Ice Ice, because you did talk about earlier on, Moon can play that mid Necrophos if he needs to.
yeah. I want him to get rid of the OD right now on Geek Fam. It's good save if you do get this big combinations off onto the Necrophos. Just to have two forms of save. Necro does a ton of damage, especially if you allow it to go a bit greedier, which Ice 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 likes to do. Monkey King, he's fine in that off lane. He's not going to be panicking all too hard. And yeah, I think Geek Fam then picking up a Beastmaster and then Fnatic to round out their draft if the OD is banned. What could we see? Moon Hero, Moon Hero.
Radiant team
Oh,
pick.
it's a Lunar instead, huh?
Okay, so they don't want to have to deal with that 23 Savage Lunar again. And that's fair enough, but was that even going to be the pick?
Mm,
He has been playing it a
potentially.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been playing it a lot. I suppose it could have worked.
I'm
Geek
gonna need
Fam.
a bite of my Vegemite sandwich to give me the brain power for this.
10 seconds remaining.
Good to see you're keeping it Australian, mate, with that
5
Vegemite
Hmm.
there.
seconds remaining.
I need
Geek,
the vitamin B, that's for sure.
absolutely. Geek Fam. 23 seconds left. You talked about the Beastmaster over and over again. I think it's great. I don't see why you just wouldn't go down the route of the Beastmaster here. Maybe a bit tough in the lane, but after that, you're kind of pretty good.
Fanatics turn to
Mm,
Oh,
alright.
okay.
Yeah, I like it. You can do a lot of anti-heal against the Necrophos. You're always going to be able to pick up the Spirit Vessel on the Ember Spirit, you would still think. And so you've obviously got that aura that's recently been added onto it. So and that all stacks up additively. It's actually not multiplicative. So
10
if you get
seconds
to a certain
remaining.
state with the Venomancer getting the poison sting off
5
just from the right
seconds
click,
remaining.
from the Plague Ward poison sting, plus the Spirit
Do
Vessel
not
aura,
select
plus the
your
Spirit Vessel
heroes.
active, it actually goes up above 100%, which is an insane amount of anti heal to be doing. So against something like a Necro and a Monkey King, and hell, even the Bane, it's pretty good.
That it is. But I do love the ending there from Fnatic now. They go into that, what seems to be a POS 1 Weaver. I don't see many ways of controlling this Weaver either. Like, you talked about the fact that they had lockdown. They don't really have so many stuns. In fact, they only have one in that Tusk. It really hasn't changed. Just seems like Savage might just be able to time lapse out of any situation he gets himself into here. And if you wanted to take it super late and maybe get that Aghanim Scepter on this Weaver with a Necrophos as well, it just
10
how do you
seconds
kill
remaining.
anyone?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go Ags if
5
you're a
seconds
position
remaining.
one Weaver. That's my only concern. But Geek Fam kind of have a bit of an issue where they're going to want to commit heavily onto Ice 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 at the start of the game. It feels like that's really what this draft is enabling them to do. And oh, actually, it's going to be this mid Venos, so he's going to have an all right time against Moon. Obviously, he can just contest from range. It's really good. The bad part about Veno is you've got pretty sucky attack damage to start the game. So maybe Moon's going to be able to exploit that somewhat, and at least until first couple of levels come up for Veno, make the better end of these early game. Could that potentially telegraph a rotation coming through from Zephyr early on into the mid lane? Maybe try and get a kill up on the board early on for Carl. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Fnatic obviously just looking to try and get a 2-0 series if they can. GeekFam desperate to try and win this second game. Otherwise, they are going to be knocked down to the lower bracket, which isn't all too bad because you do go straight down to the second round of the lower bracket. But you'd definitely prefer to just go straight through the upper bracket final if you could afford to. And Fnatic are definitely in the position to do that right here, right now in that game number 2, especially with that DJ Earthshaker.
I mean, we saw it yesterday, right? If you haven't checked out the highlights on the BTS Twitter already, there was a crazy game yesterday with Fnatic coming up against Neon Esports, where, well, I'll let you watch it. No spoilers here.
It was pretty fantastic, I'll tell you that. Geek Fam, see what they can do this game number 2. They've definitely drafted a bit of a different style of draft. I've got to admit, I can't remember the last time I saw Carl playing mid Veno for Geek Fam. So I'm not really sure what to expect from that. I suppose if he is going to be up against that Monkey King mid, it shouldn't be all too bad. Of a lane anyway, but it's just after that, I just really don't know what to expect here from Carl.
Yeah, you can see here he's really prioritized. Well, it's nothing super weird in terms of his itemization. You know, he's gone Fairy Fire, he's gone Slippers of Agility, just because, I mean, you can have a look at his attack damage. It's just sitting at 51 right now. And you can compare that to the Monkey King, 57, 59, and he's only got the Slippers of Agility. Wait, who's going mid?
Nice Fisher there. Zephyr, he's kind of trapped up right now. He needs to make a run for it. Bot lane Savage, he's going to keep chasing him down. DJ just splits up a little bit of an engagement there, but ultimately they did have brown boots on Zephyr, so he was able to run out.
And it's Savage going mid. So something a little different.
I think that's a better matchup though, right? Up against that that Venomancer. If you are
It
gonna...
is.
Yep.
Yeah. You can just dodge out a lot of you know, the slow harass that's going to be coming out at you. You can easily secure those range creeps, and like I was talking about with that attack damage, right now he's got an 11 attack damage advantage. So at least super early on, he's going to be able to get the better end of these trades.
Absolutely. See Zephyr down to that bot lane trying to interrupt this this blocking that's going on. DJ though will still get it off. That is the second Fisher block, of course, and well, we'll see Raven trying to block the creep wave to the best of his ability. Probably very upset right now that he still can't see creeps. And sometimes no matter how well you block, it just doesn't matter. At least he does make it so it's in the middle of the lane rather than near the tier 1 Dire Tower. Whiteman, though, has to be careful. DJ was trying to get a nice Fisher off, but couldn't quite find it.
Carl's been doing a great job in the mid lane so far. He brought up that Sentry Ward, predicting that it was going to be this mid Weaver. He got rid of the Observer Ward. Oh, he doesn't want to go down now to these creeps just right-clicking him.
Yeah, Carl. He's got to be careful. He does have that Fairy Fire, maybe just trying to bait Savage in. He doesn't have the Gale up right now either, though. You've got to be very, very wary of that, and he will just salve up. Just wants to keep securing that CS, but just gotta be careful. That Weaver's so much of a harder matchup than that Monkey mid.
But the fact that he's been able to get four denies rather already against this Weaver is really impressive.
That it is. Bot lane as well. You look at Ice. He's already committed his salve and being harassed out. He will just try and trade while he can, but he will ultimately understand he is going to be the first blood of the game, and Raven will be the one to take that on the Troll Warlord. So it's a great start for Geek Fam.
Not even needing to commit a tri lane to be able to do it, but you know, that could be a double-edged sword with Zephyr, the other member of that potential tri lane, going down on the top side.
Absolutely. It's one of those things as well, right? The Necrophos is very similar to the Timbersaw in the sense that you need to kill him off early. Because once he has that Ghost Shroud up, it's going to be somewhat impossible to actually take him out.
Yeah, I mean, he has a bit more of a teamfight presence with the Necro, and I suppose maybe a bit more of a late game timer that, well, not a timer, but you just never want to take it super late with a Necro because he's always going to be impactful. Whereas Timber, you can create a whole lot more lane pressure early on. Ice, he's reached level 2 at least.
He's got the Ghost Shroud though. He didn't actually go for the Heartstopper aura. Just deciding he doesn't want to die a second time, though Zephyr is going to chase him down and really provide out that harassment. We've seen this from a lot of teams before where they'll really put everything they've got into trying to shut down the hero of Ice. But the problem is you can kind of just forget about that mid lane and that top lane. Where you'll see Moon, he's still farming very well, and well, I suppose at least Savage is still struggling a little bit up against Carl on that Veno. But perhaps just not focusing on Moon could be a problem later on. In fact, Ice again going to be chased here, and he is dead.
Able to pick him off again. With Savage as well, I mean, he's been doing an alright job at getting some decent last hits and denies off here, but he's out of regen. He's having to have a bottle delivered out to him, and it's going to reach him right about the right time. 4 minutes approaching shortly, but with the way that these side lanes are going, I don't know if Jabs or DJ can actually make that rotation to help the contest. He's starting to do it now, but Zephyr feels like a bit more capable of these fights.
Imagine he does. Just going to stick around down this bot lane. We'll look up to that top lane for a second as well, because we haven't quite yet, but Moon is free farming on that Monkey King. Cuckoo not really able to do much to shut him down. He's actually well, not really out-leveling Cuckoo yet, but he has the lane advantage. The Monkey vs Ember is never going to favor that Ember up until that 6 mark, and well, now Moon gets a Jingu Mastery off, holding the Boundless Strike, does finally throw it out, but can he actually catch out Cuckoo? Well, it looks like Savage is going to go down mid lane, now even finding Carl as well. They're still going. The snowball is there. DJ now about to fall. That poison from the Gale should be enough, and Carl, he will get a double kill out into that mid lane, and meanwhile, Cuckoo is still being chased up on this Ember. Still just trying to run away. It's like Jabs is not going to let this go, but I think Cuckoo is fine.
Yeah, he should be alright. He's got the Windlace, which gives him that little bit of extra escape potential.
It's a lot of wasted time, though, for Cuckoo. That's about a minute he hasn't been farming, and I guess on the positive note, he is nearby the bounties now, so he can take one for the team. Doesn't really have a bottle, though, so he can't really make too much use of it. Ultimately, Fnatic do find a 3-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that Fnatic are doing better than GeekFam a fair amount right now is their amount of rune control, right? They were able to pick up a couple extra of those bounty runes. They were able to rotate the supports through to the power runes and ensure that Savage bottled the illusion one up. He still ended up dying, but that just goes to some good plays coming through from Carl. But they didn't really make anything happen on the GeekFam supports in the time that they made that rotation. This time, though, they should be able to grab DJ.
Yeah, DJ got shotted up. Snowball's going to be there. Nice Fisher dodge there from Zephyr. They're still doing a great job in terms of kills, at least, GeekFam. Getting a 5-2 now and allowing Raven that free space to just keep farming up that troll. He's just behind Moon on that Monkey King. And that should be somewhat of a concern here for Fnatic, right? Like, Ice is still struggling quite a bit. He's being jumped right now. He does have the Ghost Shroud, but he's not popped it yet. And Raven still hoping for an ensnare. Meanwhile, Zephyr does get 23 Savage in the mid lane, and Ice. He's still being chased down. Raven will eventually just let him go. But now DJ's going to come in with a Fisher. It does connect onto the troll. And ultimately, he will save Ice. But for Fnatic's sake, you do get a little bit afraid, like you're losing Savage in that mid lane, and Raven's free farming the bot lane.
Yeah, Carl's been playing this really well on the Venomance. Eventually just the Ice Shards being used as Savage was trying to pick up that rune and run away, but it's just not going to be enough. He's gone and used the Poison over already. Early level up.
Savage might be dead. That's a lot of damage with that Gale. He needs to find a way to deny himself. He thinks about neutrals. Now DJ is going to come in and do it. Nice deny from DJ, making it barely in time. I mean, it's as simple as that. Gale, Poison Nova, Poison Touch, you're dead.
Yeah, and just going for this full lane domination, not wanting to level up the Plague Ward, doesn't really need to give vision. The rest of his team's done a good job with that, with these nice defensive Observer Wards coming out for him, so he's not really in danger of getting dived all too much, and the last thing that he wants is just feeding more gold from the Plague Wards over to 23 Savage. So the fact that he had to TP back to lane means that, well, that's really the only escape that you have when you commit the Poison Nova. So wise choice to skill that one up on Carl.
Absolutely. It's great foresight there from Carl, and he's going to go for a TP now up into that top lane where DJ does already die, but now Moon, he's going to jump in with that Boundless going after Cuckoo, and he does secure the kill, and now he will just try and TP out of there, and does do so successfully. Zephyr had already committed the only stun his team has. And with that, they'll back off. Jabs, however, going to get a Nightmare off now onto the Tusk. Carl does take the Illusion Rune, and Savage is going to chase him
ice
down.
again.
Yeah, oh, Ice. He does go down to the bot lane, but in the mid lane, they're still fighting. Time lapse out from Savage. Shards is not going to block the way there from Savage either. But Carl, he might survive this Savage. He's getting way too low, though. No, they get the Veno, and Cuckoo and Zephyr will try and trade here with maybe the Bane. But looks like Jabs will also be okay, and now Moon's joined in.
Getting a little bit greedy there on Zephyr. He had the 5 magic wand charges, didn't want to pop him to give him the mana for the snowball, and similar sort of, I guess you can call it greedy style play with Ice Ice Ice, not using the Ghost Shroud while he was getting gone on by this Troll Lich combination, just wanting to bait him in that little bit extra and go for the full efficiency play. Let's see if he uses it this time around.
That's a lot of damage from Raven. He does finally use it, but now Zephyr's here. They get the gaze off. Snowball, and yeah, they should have it. No, Nightmare is there from Jabs. Ice 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 will still be able to go down though. Raven now getting a double kill. Just pops the Battle Trance straight away, and oh, this bot lane's a whitewash. Geek Fam is just so far ahead.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they need to against this Ice 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 Necrophos. He's sitting down in 8th position on net worth right now behind the Tusks. So, yeah. That's what you want, just constant aggression coming out against this hero that doesn't have all too much escape. And even if you pop that Ghost Shroud, you've got a decent amount of damage coming through with the Frost Blast.
Yeah, that you do. We'll see how Fnatic try to combat this. Like, they've still got the saving grace in that Monkey King being played by Moon. Cuckoo. Be alright, he'll just chain up the Moon Monkey. The bot lane, Savage is rotated now onto Zephyr, trying to go after that outpost, but it looks like he'll concentrate on the hero instead, and in fact now, they just want to back out. But DJ, no, he goes for a Fissure, they'll take the easy kill onto Whiteman, and now the Nightmare is there on the Troll, but Nightmare is taken off by Whiteman, trying to survive. Now the Gaze as well, they're going to turn on Savage. He does almost go down, but the time lapse is there in time. Oh, that was a really nice cheeky little play there from Whiteman.
Sorry about that, did my mic go a little weird?
It did for a second, but I'm glad to see you back.
Yeah.
And so they do get a nice support kill down to the bot lane. Fnatic, however, were unable to take the outpost away from Geek Fam. And, well, we're still kind of in this farming style game right now where Fnatic just don't feel confident enough to really start grouping up and fighting properly. And Geek Fam just don't care because they're already ahead.
No, they do not, and well, it just shows in the way that Graven's choosing to build this one. He's gone for the Battle Fury on the Troll. He's rotating up towards the top side with his Venomancer. Unfortunately, no siege creep to be able to continue this push forward, but with Raven having such a strong early game, I don't think they really need it all too much.
No, that they won't. He'll go for that push now, Raven. Looks like Carl will TP out back down to the bot lane, so they're going to leave Raven up there, not by himself. He'll have Zephyr. But I don't believe they'll be able to fully commit to the tier 1 push quite yet, as Moon is going to be there to defend on the Monkey. And
diving Carl.
Savage going to be on top of Carl, and Carl is actually doing a lot of damage over Savage. He might need a TP out of that. He time lapses. Whiteman getting that cancellation off on the Jabs Fiend's grip. Still, Carl is alive. Now Cuckoo is here with Zephyr and Moon. He tries to join in, but you've already lost Savage. You've already lost Jabs. Whiteman does go down now. Moon trying to get the trades. He does get Carl as well, but he's trapped up. It looks like Cuckoo should be able to secure the kill there on the Monkey, and he does. And ultimately, it will still be a 2-for-3 trade, and Fnatic, they're just getting nothing.
Well, they're getting a little bit. Ice 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 is able to sit in this mid lane.
Echo?
He doesn't have such a disastrous start.
Zephyr, Snowball, gonna keep fighting on to DJ. He did have help there from Cuckoo, but well, he almost dropped to that Echo Slam. Wasn't quite there, but you were talking about just a second ago, Ice is at least getting some farm up now on that Necro.
Yeah, really important. You can see he's itemizing for a little bit more of that survivability. Man, they're diving tier 2s at this stage of the game.
That they are. It's savage. He's died 4 times. He just doesn't mind though. He just keeps diving. And with that, they're going to go after that tier 1 tower now. Carl's going to be there to defend once again. I'll tell you what, Danok, this Venomancer so far has turned out really well for GeekFam. In fact, they do also they do drop Whiteman, so Fnatic now may feel very, very confident to try and get that tier 1 tower.
They will, and they'll bring some reinforcements here with Zephyr to be able to continue the defense. They really don't want to give up this tower, open up a whole lot more of the map for themselves. I think especially with the Troll Warlord going into the Battle Fury, you want to be able to somewhat safely farm your Ancients if you can. And, well, they're doing a decent job to create space for him so far, but Ice, again, he is recovering. He's back up in 5th position. He's overtaken Cuckoo, despite that early game, and, well, they're going in on DJ.
Yeah, DJ will die very easily. I say that, they did throw out a Chain Frost for that, but it's not too bad. They do get the Earthshaker kill. It's going to delay his blink even more now. Should take another few minutes at the least on that Earthshaker to get that up. Now, GeekFam going to start rotating up towards that top lane. Where
yeah, you don't always want to be playing defensively, right? You can see what they're trying to do. They've got a wave pushed into their tier 1 tower on the bot side, but if they can make some action happen on the top side of the map, then they can potentially win a team fight and force them away from these aggressive plays that Fnatic want to try and make.
And they're going to get that tier 1. No kind of defense. Moon is trying to force in that tier 1 mid, and he actually is going to get it. So, GeekFam just kind of freely give this away. A great tree dance into the Primal Spring out from Moon, but now they catch him out. He jumps back out. He's surrounded now, and I believe he understands he's probably just going to die as they get the gaze off just in time, so he can't even get that free lifesteal off. Cuckoo will take that one on the Ember. But that mid-tier 1 tower, it is very valuable. I'm surprised GeekFam just let it go.
It's not necessarily that they let it go, they just didn't have the tools to get back there in time. You know, they'd committed that smoke up onto the top side. I don't think there were TPs on a couple of those heroes, so they didn't want to, for lack of a better phrase, half-ass the defense.
I suppose not. It's given time as well. Like, Carl's got the Vessel up now. He's going to be feeling very, very good about himself on that Veno. Suppose the Battle Fury is now there as well on Raven. But you've also got the Blink there on DJ, and he does immediately buy a smoke with that Blink, wanting to just get a surprise reveal off early on.
Does, but might actually be in for a bit of luck here with the GeekFam heroes starting to walk into him. You know, it's a bit of a nice change of pace to be on the, well, not the defensive put, but the counter initiation space. They're going to try and find Carl here and, well, just scouting him out a little bit, poking and prodding.
Maybe just a bit afraid of... Maybe just a bit afraid that that tier 1 tower is still there. I guess it would have meant enough time for people to come down and help out Carl. But look at Jabs. He's really gone right behind that tier 1.
Moon's getting dived a little bit in this mid lane. Are they going to get lucky with these Chain Frost bounces? They will.
He does go down. Ice tried to get in there to help, but didn't even have much mana available. Meanwhile, bot lane, Fiend's Grip is going to come out onto Carl. Nice fish route from DJ, just stunning up Raven. They'll give Jabs away here, or maybe they won't. He'll try to delay things out. He will die. Another kill out to the Troll Warlord.
Again, they still defend that tier 1 though, and it's a little unfortunate Zephyr didn't have a TP up. So I think they could have probably saved that Venomancer if Troll was there for even just the stun from the roll.
That is very true. Still, Fnatic, they seem to be quite interested in just getting this tier 1. They do have the Blink now up on DJ. It has arrived. He won't pop the smoke. He'll just stay within vision. Or rather, out of vision.
To walk into this. Whitemon, he pops the Frost Shield onto the tower. Perfectly reasonable. I don't know about this TP in, though, from Cuckoo.
Could be dangerous. Cuckoo just going to slide a fist, but he does have a bug on him right now, so they have vision. Now Jabs goes in with the Nightmare. They also found Whiteman there with the Wukong's command, and Reaper Scythe with the Echo committed. Cuckoo and Whiteman both going to end up going down. You kind of called it there, Danhog. He does get caught out and gets taken out easily, and now that bottom tier 1 tower also under siege. But look at this, Zephyr's around. Meanwhile, they're taking another fight onto Jabs. So Jabs will die on the Bane. Savage does get the tier 1 tower and does rotate around and avoid the Tusk altogether. He's going to try and even pressure this tier 2 tower a little bit now with this wave.
Radiant structures are falling.
They are. Raven's trying to make a play on this mid lane, and Carl as well. They've got the Spirit Vessel onto Ice Ice Ice.
How do you even survive this now? Ice has no heals anyway. They just tip him up. Like, what are you doing with that Ghost Shroud, sir? He had no heals left.
Not too much. Oh man, picking up the double damage. They're going to go straight for Roche.
Why not? Best play to make. Raven, top of the net worth board, in front of Savage by 2k now. Taking that double damage.
Zephyr's making a beeline for it as well. They need that tag team to be able to take it quickly enough, because Ice Ice Ice, he's probably going to be alive in time to make it a contest. Maybe not. Whitemon's tanking it up a little bit to make sure those bashes don't go on to the damage from Raven.
They'll go ahead and finish it off.
Yeah, all of this defensive warding, it's going to spot out the movements from Zephyr. Maybe that's why they made the such an aggressive play towards the bottom side. They knew that they didn't have that Tusk saving potential because they can scout out the fact he didn't have the TP previously when he was walking around in the dire jungle.
Yep, absolutely. Danog, I need 1 second. Someone's having a knock at the door. I'll be right back.
I will be play-by-play and analyst. Let's go. There's nothing happening, so I can't do anything. Feels bad, man. But what can we talk about on the map right now? They're trying to make plays around the mid lane. Nothing really happening all too much.
Sorry, I'm back.
That's all good.
Fisher out. Whiteman, he's been caught out there on the lich. Boundless Strike as well. Poor Whiteman. No Roshan to deny himself off to. He's just dead.
Nothing happened. It was actually the one time in SEA Dota where nothing happened for a good 20-30 seconds.
That's unusual. I've never seen that. What do you think GeekFam does with this this Aegis now? Like, do you just keep safely farming on Raven on this Troll Warlord, or are you looking to try and make a play here?
All of their Broken Moon off to the trees here. Cuckoo, he's done a good job here. He was trying to contest the outpost. Will they be able to do anything about it, though?
Wukong's is there. Moon, he's going to fight back now. They don't have the damage output. Fisher out. That'll secure the kill. Well, Moon, he won't mind just using the ulti like that, just to be able to survive. That's really unfortunate for GeekFam.
It is, and they're kind of baited out a little bit by that rotation as well, because you could see that Carl wanted to make the TP through to rotate, but ended up cancelling it after Zephyr dropped quite easily. So now they're caught with 3 heroes on the mid lane or bot side where they don't really want to be. They want to be making aggressive plays with the Aegis. They want to be pushing into this top side. They want to secure the outpost in the tier 2 tower if they can, so that those next Roshans just become a lot more easily accessible.
Absolutely. Carl, he's just going to keep forcing out the top lane, trying to make some space for his team, but they are closing in here, Fnatic. DJ's got the Echo back up, and he's with Savage in that smoke. Oh, Raven. Got to be careful. A lot of TPs here from Fnatic. Raven will break the smoke. They should have spotted them out now.
Oh, he's got the SNY as well, so that's a really nice pickup to have. That extra status resist, that extra regen, especially when you are in the battle trance. I don't think they actually have a Spirit Vessel just yet on Fnatic's side, so that's going to be really impactful for the Troll.
I bet it will. And, well, GeekFam, still in a great position here to try and fight. They aren't really making any form of play, though. They are really just sticking to the farming game with Raven, and I can't quite blame them. He may feel like he could just outscale everyone on the map right now with that Troll. That may be the game plan. Like, even with that Aegis, they're just not willing to make a play here. Maybe that bottom tier 1 tower, but that's... Yeah, it's a safe play to make.
Well, they're smoked up, and they're going to run into 5 Fnatic heroes standing at the top here, trying to take up this big Ancient stack.
What have I done? DJ?
A little premature. Oh, nice poison over. Hits onto 2.
Yeah, Jabs, he's in trouble. He should tick out here. Fisher is going to block the pathway. Nice deny out from Size. Now the Wukong's is out. Raven's going to have to fight within it. Cuckoo will die immediately to the Reaper's Scythe. And now Raven popping that Battle Trance, trying to survive through this Aegis. He will at least lose the Aegis, it seems. Chain Frost bouncing through, but the Fiend's Grip now on the Lich. Barely Moon survives. He needs to get up. Akal will finish off two of them. Now Savage going back in on the Lich. Will time-lapse out of there. Jabs is in trouble, however. He's been left alone and looks like he will die. And well, you lost the Aegis, but you found a successful team fight for the side of Geek Fam, and now with that, they can move into that mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I don't think they minded too much. Only had a minute left on that timer. Really nice use of the Chain Frost as well to zone out a lot of these Fnatic heroes, realizing that even though there was only one hero next to it, they had vision over this...
Mid lane. They go straight onto Raven. It's a lot of damage. Raven, he will die. They do get TJ in return, but now Savage, he wants to chase down Carl. He's sick of this Venomancer. And he might just find him, although neutrals, no, he does get the kill. Savage, how do you get out of this one? He doesn't have time-lapse. Shards, not going to be on point. He's still trying to run. Tag team going to be activated with the snowball. He needs 3 seconds for the time-lapse, but no, they will get the trade.
Whew. Very cheeky, and some real valuable gold going the way of Cuckoo as well. It feels like his farm has sold a fair amount, so at least now he's able to pick up some of these, I want to say, more damage-dealing items, but he's already gone the 4 stuff on an Ember Spirit. That is not something that you normally see.
Yeah, very utility-style Ember. It's definitely nothing I've ever seen before with the 4 staff. Now goes for the medallion as well.
The only thing that I can think of, and the reason I'm so confused about the 4 staff is, of course, you've already got a Venomancer building into a Spirit Vessel, right? So I guess you're putting all of your anti-healing on one hero. With the 4 staff, I think, again, it's just standard Cuckoo style of play. He wants to do something flashy, and the big thing that he wants right now is 4-staffing that Monkey King outside of his Wukong's command so that they can take a team fight more readily there.
I guess that could be the play. Just try and get rid of that Wukong's, but... I guess you would have kind of expected somebody else to buy the 4 staff. It doesn't hurt, right? Cuckoo can still do his job, he just won't really have damage output. He does have the medallion now, but... we'll see.
It's something.
You'll just reserve judgment till we see what he does with it.
It's a bit more of a roaming style, that's the thing, but it doesn't feel like he's roaming. He's just farming like Cuckoo normally does. So something like a Maelstrom, of course, is going to be really impactful, but I just don't think now's the time to start to go for it.
It's definitely not. They are giving most space away, of course, back to Raven, who is still just trying to farm towards that BKB Satanic. Looks like he wants to start with the BKB first, which makes enough sense. We'll see Fnatic just trying to keep up in terms of farm. Savage now about 3k net worth behind that Troll Warlord. Does have the Deso MKB going, though. So he's hitting like an absolute truck. He's also trying to finish off his own BKB timing.
I think this is fine, though, because, you know, your BKB is going to be a BKB with an extra $3,000 worth of items, or 3,000 gold worth of items. He's nearly reached his level 18 as well, which is going to be pretty handy on our Troll Warlord here.
That he has.
That extra 20% lifesteal, especially now that they still don't have any anti-heal.
It's going to be nice. Whiteman barely gets out with his life intact up at top lane. Moon just did not really spot him out behind that tree line. It's like they are going to start slowly setting up to force in that top tier 1 tower and try to get some more towers going underneath their belts for Fnatic. Geek Fam still trying to go after that mid-tier 1, which is fairly low, but we haven't really seen Fnatic be willing to let it go down. Perhaps this top tier 1 push may force Geek Fam to respond.
And like we were expecting during the draft, Zephyr, he's been lucky enough that Geek Fam, they've been able to make a good fist of the early game, and he's picked up a Blink Dagger relatively early on for a support. He's even going into a BKB right now, so that if he does commit himself into the middle of a team fight, he's going to be able to walk out and potentially have that Blink Dagger off cooldown for the next re-engage.
It's going to be very, very useful. Of course, the top tier 1 did end up dropping Fnatic. They get it for free. Geek Fam still kind of just taking control of that dire triangle. They've got the BKB now up on Raven. They may
Spider legs as well. Handy to have.
very, very nice. They may take some time to farm those tier 3 items, or they may just rush Ice 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 right now. Force-staffing him forward there with Carl. No, it was actually Cuckoo that force-staffed him forward. So Ice 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 will have to Ghost Ride himself up.
Dire's bottom tower
He'll be okay.
Man, it must be such a luxury just to have DG on your team because they realize, wait a second, how long has it been since there was an Echo Slam? I feel like we've done this before. Rooney's playing a little bit of the dodge game here.
Cuckoo
Trying to get caught out by those remnants from Cuckoo, but nah, gonna get away.
He'll be fine. Well, Fnatic, I believe they just had a quick check to see if the Roshan might be up, and it's going to be about a minute away now. So I don't believe they'll really want to allow Geek Fam to take this second Roshan, and well, both teams, they'll smoke up at the exact same time,
Radiant's
and
top
they're
tower
running the exact opposite way as well. Roshan will be up in 45, so it's not too bad for Geek Fam.
No vision, luckily enough, for Geek Fam in their own jungle. Otherwise, they would have spot out that that courier coming to deliver the observer and sentry wards. Oh, is Carl
Carl.
going to be in a little bit of trouble here?
Swarm was thrown out, so now they know they were smoked. Geek Fam again checking Roshan, still 25 seconds away.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just taking some more real estate. We've got close to level 18 on Carl as well, which is obviously going to be really useful to have around that Roche pit. Small enclosed area. He's got it now. Roche is going to be up in a couple of seconds, but they found out Zephyr in the meantime.
Savage. He's got to back off. That snowball's a little bit scary. Now Chains and Gaze is there onto Savage. He's just tanking through the damage right now.
Ooh, Greaves is super handy.
That it is. It's going to be a lot more sustain there for Geek Fam. Neither side really engaging all the way quite yet, but that Roshan's up. They'll definitely be trying to fight for it.
Tower is under attack.
Mid lane, they'll see Ice Ice Ice, but I think Ice is baiting in right now. In fact, Savage, he's going to run straight into Raven. DJ blinks in, but misses out on the Fisher opportunity.
Radiant structures are
Savage will just keep going.
Oh man, they're just baiting each other out right now.
Yeah.
attack.
Roshan.
Seconds until that 30-minute mark too.
Oh, Ice could be in trouble. They got the Gale off. He doesn't actually... Well, he does have Ghost Shroud. He will use it, but can he heal himself up enough? Nice fish around from DJ, and now, well, Moon, he's trying to get in there. He won't quite find the angle. Ice Ice Ice, he's been trapped up by those shards. They'll Remnant in. Cuckoo trying to take down this Necrophos, and he will, but an immediate buyback. Now the Fiend's Grip out on the Ember. He's still trapped up there in that Fiend's Grip. It doesn't really get him out with
Nice
the Force
save.
Staff, but now a Snowball is going to save. They do Reaper's Scythe. They do get Zephyr and Cuckoo. Cuckoo will also buy back immediately.
They're still fighting around this Roche pit. I mean, the fact that you had to use buybacks on both your offlaners is pretty impactful. Luckily enough, Ice Ice Ice, he didn't buy out the Guardian Greaves, so he did have enough for it. They're just continuing to make this
Downless.
deep observer ward doing so much work.
Yeah, Fisher there,
That's a
DJ.
dieback.
They got control there onto Cuckoo. He can't afford to die like this. He remnants out. Now Raven's in. He does end up killing off the Earthshaker. So DJ's down for 50. Moon going to show himself. Raven wouldn't mind the fight, but now Savage going to rotate back around that Weaver.
Had that blind connected onto him though, so isn't ready to stay and fight. He's done it again though. Has to
Yep.
pop the BKB for it.
Wukong's commander's out. Raven pops his own BKB with the Battle Trance. Savage will just run away. Raven just continuing to chase there, trying to go on some Moon. That Battle Trance will wear off, and now Nightmare will come out from Jabs. You don't have the Fiend's Grip, but you may not need it though. Walrus Punch from Zephyr. He does get Savage. No buyback available on that Weaver, and now Cuckoo will chase down Moon. Ice 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 as well, just deciding he's going to TP out. Moon will do the same. Jab's been left behind, but this will open up the Roshan pit now for the side of Geek Fam.
Yeah, they're very happy with that sort of trade. You need to be so mindful of the DJ Echo Slam coming through at the end of the day. He's even got the Shadow Blade available, but I'm not sure what happened that time. Moon, it felt like his Wukong's command was cancelled super early. It didn't even, he wasn't force-staffed out of it. So perhaps a very small misplay coming through there, and even despite the fact that the Guardian Greaves is much more impactful on Ice Ice Ice, you can break a lot of what they're trying to put onto you. It's just not enough for him to be able to outwithstand this Spirit Vessel as well as the Venomancer.
That is true, and well, now you've got the Aegis, you've got the cheese up on Zephyr as well, but he might just give that over to Carl. And speaking of Carl,
Diving in deep?
yeah,
What's going on
DJ
here?
gets in with the Echo. Now the Reapers, Carl! That wasn't it, sir. Just too early. He did hit the Gale on Ice Ice Ice, but it just didn't matter.
Oh, well, that's alright then.
Zephyr now getting caught out there with the Task. Moon gonna take him out as well. And I suppose if you're Geek Fam, you're not really expecting Fnatic to run at you after you took a Roshan. But Fnatic, they just keep going. Whiteman now gonna get jumped on. He does commit the Shadow Amulet. Do they have detection? Not quite, but they'll do it the slow. Yeah, absolutely. Jabs comes in. Chain Frost is out, but Whiteman is gonna die. And suddenly a 3-for-0 trade while Geek Fam has the Aegis cheese.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be making the aggressive plays, and it's fine if Carl has that, but you've got to play with your team, buddy.
Oh, bot lane? They're going after tier 3s. Savage. I don't know if this is how it's meant to work, so you lost the Roshan. Moon's going to be there with him. They timer up this troll. They're really going to get a tier 3 tower. Alright, disarm on the troll. He'll run away for now, but he does have that Satanic Aegis, so Savage will have to be careful, but they are going on the melee barracks. Savage, Warriors punched up. He can't time-lapse out of there in time. And so perhaps they have overextended here, but well, Jabs should also die. He will go for the Glimmer TB. Can they get him snared? Well, they do get the chains off. He will go down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But Fnatic, they actually got a tier 3 tower, and in some weird way, they've stopped any form of push that Geek Fam could have had.
Yeah, for now. Top side pushed in a little bit. I think they're relatively happy to have Raven down on this bottom side. He's not in real danger of dying, considering the 100 to 0 stuns are only really going to come through in combination with this Bane. So they're alright with it. They need the initial setup. And, well, Moon, he's standing right next to him. He's baiting something to try and make it happen, but not quite yet. Oh, is he going to go for the Boundless Strike? Stop this TP?
Not yet. He's waiting. It's a long TP, though, from Raven. He's just waiting out the duration and now gets him.
Oh,
Raven.
I was about to say, is he going to go for the Battle Fury onto the tree? It doesn't quite catch him.
Very,
It's on
very
his own,
close.
though. 3 heroes nearby.
They've got the Reapers up. Raven, it's very aggressive. He's going for that 35-minute bounty rune.
He's got Aegis, he can.
Do you really want to just lose it, though? It looks like Fnatic won't make the jump.
Dire's top
Yeah,
tower
it's okay. They still had the outnumber. They had heroes coming in through the river, and they had complete vision on both sides. So they were fine to make that sort of play.
All right. It does work out for them. 3 for 1 on those bounties. Geek Fam now going to group up, try to head down mid. You got a Basher now up on Raven. It's just on the Courier. So a bit more itemization here for this troll, but that does mean he's not going to have buyback gold if things go really bad. And they could, because Moon is pushing in that bot wave once again. So he's going to try and force back the side of Geek Fam. The question is, will Geek Fam back off, or will they go for the mid-racks?
I mean, I think at the minimum they're going to force some rotations to come back, which they have not done just yet. Moon's got TP, DJ has TP. I guess that's a small advantage of having this invisibility available to you, but you're going to have to make a decision soon on both sides because both bases being assaulted.
Yeah, they're just playing a game of chicken right now, and, well, nobody's really losing yet. They're just standing their ground, but I'd say Fnatic might have the upper hand now that they've got the creep wave on that Rax, but Cuckoo will TP in. And this is Geek Fam's timing, right? They've still got that Aegis, they've got all these items up. They want to be the ones pushing high ground, but Fnatic will just not allow it, and Moon, he's sticking around down at that bot lane. Pounce in, does force the Remnant usage out of Cuckoo. I don't think they can TP back now. They'll bring another in fact 2, 3 TPing in. A great play out of Moon, and well, Zephyr, he's going to try and punish, but he won't get it.
He nearly made it happen. Moon is still here. It's actually nuts how much space he's making, you know, both with the use of that Primal Spring, forcing Cuckoo out to the top side, and then even just using the Boundless Strike to secure one more creep wave moving into the Radiant base.
He's Great plays out from Moon. So both sides have lost the tier 3 tower, but
Oh,
now
they should
Fnatic.
know where he is. Smoke being popped. Not quite yet level 25 either on Ravens, so he needs to be a little bit careful here. Only 5 seconds left on his Aegis. He needs to be incredibly careful.
That he does, and well, Fnatic, they're just grouping up. They know the timing. There's that Aegis going.
Leveler as well. So handy for this Monkey King.
It will be. Moon gonna try and bait them out. No chains. They don't land anyway. They just kind of stare off each other from a nice little distance, but now a bounty has been placed, and of course with bounties you do want to claim them. Fnatic will start inching their way over and taking more territory away from Geek Fam. They're just now running away. Moon is going to give vision. He's going to be careful not to get his tree chopped down. He'll make a run for it. Raven will slow him up. Gets a bash on the range hit. Now Savage is going to come in, but Moon forced to pop his BKB. Now the Fiend's Rip comes out.
Chain.
Raven, he needs time. He'll pop the Satanic and the Battle Trance. But it looks like this Monkey will get out with the Wukong's command. Now the Fish are there. DJ still holding. Comes in for the Echo. He does end up getting Raven. They'll also find Zephyr, it seems, on that task. Cuckoo's trying to run. It looks really bad for them. Carl trying to fight back as well on that Venomancer. Ice just healing everyone up on that Necrophos. But it looks like maybe they will tick out. Everyone's so low. But Savage comes back in now on that Weaver. He'll chase down Whiteman. Going after Carl. Cuckoo trying to control up Savage. But it's a 3-for-3 trade thus far. A buyback out on Zephyr. And that'll be it. A very, very even sort of team fight.
Yeah, the Plague slowly advancing more and more, and you can just see the advantage of being able to take this team fight as a Venomancer. Normally, you're happy for these long team fights to happen as a Necrophos, but coming up against a Veno, you do need to pick your battles. And yeah, great initiation onto the Troll Warlord there, but just with that Satanic already built up, plus the Sanjin Yasha, it just doesn't last for long enough. Even a full Fiend's Grip isn't enough.
It definitely isn't.
They're going deep here onto Jabs. No, having to back off. Zephyr diving into the mid lane high ground. A little bit surprising when you've got a level 25 nearly Weaver to deal with.
Yeah, there's Savage. He just pushes down that bot lane again and gets a bit more damage onto that Rax. Forces 2 more TPs down to that bot lane. He's making it impossible for Geek Fam to actually push in a base, even when they feel like they can. It's almost, you know, in the end, this bot lane is probably going to get pushed out regardless. Like, this Rax is going down sometime. Geek Fam, though, they're just going to keep delaying it out as much as possible.
Now, I'm just seeing, like, normally you don't want to have to pop absolutely everything there like Raven did. So he didn't have any tools at his disposal to be able to withstand that Echo Slam and the follow-up damage that came from it. And I think that's one of the things where if you wait until you're level 25, sure, Battle Trance Strong Dispels is really good this game, but so is the Whirling Axis cooldown, particularly against something like this Weaver and the Monkey King, who are so heavily reliant on it, that you know, you can maybe withhold one of those abilities or one of those items so that you have that secondary teamfight potential.
I'd agree with you, but he does end up going for that Strong Dispel. So Raven just wants to opt for that now, rather than the Axes. There was some value there for that those 4-second axes, though, for sure. Well, the game will continue. Still no team losing a Rax yet. Of course, Raven is still at the top of the net worth board at 25k. Just working towards that final item in the Abyssal Blade. Should have that up fairly soon. Could say the same for 23 Savage. He's trying to work towards a Butterfly or a Satanic now. But he does have that Eye of Skadi up. And
Smoke coming through from Geek Fam. Man, Zephyr is so tanky right now. He's gone full teamfight control with the Ice Shards cooldown, so it's only going to have 14 seconds. He's got a Minotaur Horn. He's got nearly 3,000 life for himself, and they've gone on Ice.
Yeah, it's a problem. He will try to get himself out of this, but can he? Still using himself up, does still have the Ghost Shroud, does get it off in time. Savage is buying him time on that Weaver. It's the same spot that he try and fight in. The Fiend's Grip is eventually going to wear off there on Raven. He does still have Battle Trance. He will go after Jasmine. Now the Wukong's Moon. He'll try to turn around. They do jump in with Carl on the Venom. Inferno getting a great Poison Nova off, but the Reaper Scythe will take him out. Zephyr, Snowball in now, back onto Ice, but he's just not dying. He has too much Ghost Round. The Echo's in, but it doesn't do much. It really works against the side of Fnatic. The tips come out, and they will wipe them out, Geek Fam. Getting a 3 for 1.
That's the difference right there in that team fight. Able to hold the battle trance right until the end. Didn't even, pop the BKB Satanic together and still had something to be able to continue the secondary team fight. Meant that DJ wasn't able to just go in when he wanted to. And some great space being created as well. Zephyr throwing himself on the front lines, knowing that he had the Minotaur Horn for the initial engagement onto Ice and forced to pop a lot of this team fight sustain super early on, which meant it wasn't available for the rest of his team.
Savage lost that mid-ranks. He's going to come in to try and maybe delay things out a little bit. Try and make sure that... Oh, Abyssal's
the
there.
Abyssal.
Savage, you can't die like this. Nightmare. It won't be enough. Raven still gets the kill off the back of those shards. There's no buyback.
Forced out. Yeah. The Shaker bought out, but no Echo Slam for the next 50 seconds. It's just delaying right now.
I thought Savage would have had buyback, considering he made that play, but... He's short of gold, and now, well, one tier 4's gone. Raven, he'll go for another. How do you stop this?
You don't. You've got the Solar Crest as well, so he's just going to be able to stack up those fervor stacks super early on. They're trying to put the courier there as a bit of bait for him.
They even drop a magic one on the ground. He doesn't care, Raven. He's a man of business. You're going to need to offer him more than that. The jump in. Zephyr buys time with the Snowball. Geek Fam, they have the Ancient. GG's been called. They will force it to a game number 3.
Yeah, feeling strong. It's pretty hype the way they're able to just turn that around, you know? A draft that doesn't allow the real comfort heroes, other than, of course, the Earthshaker, come through from Fnatic, and the Venomancer pick really throwing a wrench in their plans.
Well, with that, Danog, of course, luckily for us, we get to go to a game 3 of this upper bracket, round number 1. It is MLP Dota and it is Danog, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes, assuming there's not another update. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for that third game of this best of 3 series.